What's up, guys? Welcome to Late Night Frights. I'm Chris, Brock supervisor, and this week is a theme week. So if this week is a theme week, obviously last week was horror battles. So definitely go check the horror battles out if you haven't. I think we had a solid week last week, and I hope to continue it this week with our theme, which is going to be a director theme. So if you don't know that, if you don't know the basis of the theme by the title alone, pretty much we take and talk about our favorite horror director of all time, and we talk about some of his best films. I wouldn't say, best per se, just ones that we personally enjoy a lot. And mine, without a shadow of a doubt, is John Carpenter. I love John Carpenter. He directed one of my favorite horror films, or my favorite horror film of all time. And he's directed another one of my favorite horror films of all time as well. I love John Carpenter. I love his style of directing. So I'll give you a little mini biography of John Carpenter if you don't know him. If you don't, and you're a horror fan, please go check out some of the films I'm going to be mentioning later. You will not regret it. John Carpenter. Okay, so John Howard Carpenter was born on January 16th, 1948. And he was born in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and he attended Eastern Kentucky University. So that is really awesome. Okay, so I'm from Kentucky myself, and John Carpenter was born in Kentucky and attended EKU University. That's awesome. That's awesome to know that, my favorite horror director of all time was born in the same state that I was born in and that I live in. So that is awesome. So without further ado, I'll get into some of the films that I enjoy from John Carpenter. Now, I don't own all of them, which is sad to say, but it's kind of hard to find some of them. I want to get The Thing, They Live. I mean, there's so many that I want to get because I love his films, but I'm going to show off the ones I do have and then talk about the ones that I don't. So first off, this is going to be a little hard because I don't know what to say about this film that has not ever, or that's not already been said, because this film is a great horror film in my opinion. Some people think it's overrated. That's cool. I think it absolutely deserves the praise that it gets, and that is Halloween. So this film was made in 1978, obviously starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Pleasence. I mean, it has an amazing cast. PJ Souls. I mean, I could go on and on, but you guys already know who's in this, or at least I think you do. If you're a Halloween fan like me, you already know. It's basic knowledge. But man, this Digibook edition is amazing. I highly recommend picking this up. This is essential to anybody's slasher collection. Halloween is a great film, and a lot of people's favorite horror icon is Jason Voorhees, which admittedly I do like Jason, but Michael is my favorite. It goes Michael, Freddy, then Jason. Michael is the man. I absolutely love this film. To me, it changed the genre. And, I mean, a lot of people say Psycho, and I do agree. Psycho did kind of have, it did have an impact. Okay, Psycho, then, TCM, and then this. But after this, man, so many people tried to cash in on the low-budget horror films. And, I mean, this is the best, horror film to me personally. Because, I mean, I just think it, balances everything so well. The directing is great. The acting is really good. Jamie Lee Curtis. You have really good atmosphere. The story itself is pretty cool. How the pacing of it. You have a veteran actor, Donald Pleasence, who is amazing as Dr. Loomis. I mean, I love this film. You have one of the best horror icons, I think, of all time in this film, and that is Michael Myers. I don't want to talk too much about it, but great film. Check it out. Very suspenseful, and that's what the remake. I'm not going to talk about the remake. The next one I don't have, and that is The Thing. Oh my gosh, I love this film. A lot of people's favorite science fiction horror film, is either Alien or Aliens, which I do love those films, but mine personally is The Thing, made in 1982, directed by John Carpenter. Kurt Russell, I mean, you have a great cast in this. Besides Kurt Russell, I mean, I think everybody does a great job acting, and the special effects are freaking amazing. And I remember watching, some videos comparing, the 2011 prequel and the 1982 Thing, or The Thing, comparing them together, and someone said that the effects in the 2011 prequel was better than, John Carpenter's version of The Thing, and I was like, no way. This right here has to be one of the, if not the best effects I've ever seen in the film. I mean, the effects are just top notch. You got to watch it for yourself, and the story behind it. You don't know if your friend is one of them. If your friend is the Thing, you don't even know if yourself, if you're the Thing. I mean, it's crazy, the atmosphere and just the tension and just the isolation that the film just does to you, man. It is amazing. I absolutely love this film. Just not too much to say about it. Just check it out, man, if you've not seen it. And I apologize for messing up there. The next one is Prince of Darkness. I consider this an underrated John Carpenter flick because I heard so much bad stuff about it, about how, it's one of John Carpenter's worst. But you have Donald Pleasence in here, which I think, I wouldn't say saves the film, but it's a definite plus because I love Donald Pleasence, and it's sad that he passed away so soon, man, because I love Donald Pleasence. He's a great actor, and to me, he held the Halloween sequels. He held that whole franchise together. He was the glue to that franchise, and he kind of is with this film. But with this film, I don't know this actor's name right here. If you guys can see him, I thought he was really good as well. And then you have Alice Cooper right here, which I think that's really cool. Alice Cooper in this film, he goes around killing some people too. I really like this film. I think the directing is always great because I think John Carpenter is a great director, fantastic director. The atmosphere is built really well. The plot is really cool. I mean, this isn't going to be a review of this film. If you want a review of this film, go check it out on my personal channel, or I've talked about this film a little bit on Late Night Frights, so you might be able to find it there in my my top 10 underrated films. I just don't want to go too in depth, but I really like this film. I wouldn't put it up there with The Thing or Halloween, They Live, but I enjoy it. I think it's underrated. I heard so much, negative stuff about it that I came out really liking it. I think the makeup effects are done really well. The atmosphere is done really well. The story's kind of cool. You have Donald Pleasence, and just overall, I really like it. Don't want to talk too much about it because I got to talk about a lot more films. Okay, They Live. I just got done watching They Live. Roddy Piper, man, Keith David. It's an amazing film, and I think the message that John Carpenter was trying to do with that film still holds up today. With how the economy is, buy this, obey, well, not technically obey, but buy this, do that. That message still holds up today, and that's what I really like about the film. And besides the fact that it's Roddy Piper killing aliens, I came here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum. One of the best lines I've ever heard in my life. This film is amazing, and it's great. Other than that, it's a great action flick, man. You have Roddy Piper and Keith David just punching each other, man. A great fight scene in the alleyway. Just not too much to say about They Live. I gotta pick that up on Blu-ray. Into the Mouth of Madness. This is one that is kind of like Prince of Darkness for me. I kind of think I prefer Prince of Darkness more, but I heard so much bad stuff about In the Mouth of Madness, and it is a little unique, and it's a little weird, hard to follow, but I like it because it's something that maybe it kind of makes you think that Stephen King would do some type of film like this, because it's about this author, and he's like known worldwide. He's a great horror author, and it kind of reminds me of Stephen King, and I don't want to go too in depth on that, but it has a really cool plot. A little hard to follow at times, but I enjoy it. I wouldn't consider it, up there in Carpenter's best films, but I don't think it's a bad film at all. I enjoyed it. I think it's a pretty good film, and I would recommend it. I just don't want to go too in depth on it, and also the plot would just be hard to explain. It's just one of those films. Next, I want to talk about vampires, and this is one that I watched with the Jay Sloan. I went to his house and watched it for the first time, and I gotta say, I think it's really good. I really enjoyed it. You have, James Woods, you have David Baldwin, you have a pretty impressive cast, Jack Crow. I love that character. I had a blast watching it, man, and I think the effects are really good in this film. Like Jordan said, I think they are kind of overlooked for its time, the late 90s, 98. I thought the effects were really good. It's like, this right here was a time when, they started like using not really CGI, but some digital effects and all this and that. And it just didn't look too well. It looked too good. And John Carpenter is like, hey, I'm John Carpenter. I'm going to do practical effects. And that's what I love about John Carpenter, because he has, like I said, The Thing is probably, some of the best effects I've ever seen ever. I wouldn't consider the effects in Vampires to be that good, but they're pretty good. I enjoyed them. I thought, there's some really cool scenes with Valak, the head vampire, man. He just goes crazy, and Jack Crow he's a badass dude. Like, his one-liners are epic. Vampires, I do consider it kind of underrated, and I enjoyed it. I think it's a good flick. Okay, so on to the final one, and that is Ghosts of Mars. I've heard tons of bad stuff about this. I heard it was like a terrible film. Honestly, I didn't hate it. It kind of borderlines between like like I think it's okay. It's all right. Um, it's probably my least favorite Carpenter flick, to be completely honest. But I really like the action in it. I think the action is really well done. I like kind of like the plot a little bit, how the the police and the cons they have to work together to survive. Only thing though, like the Mars, they're on Mars, and it looks the same as it would today. And you know what I mean? Like you can't go on Mars and breathe and just live how we are on Earth. I was kind of expecting, hey, you got to wear this, you got to wear that, or there's water, we've made it fit to live here. No, you didn't. You don't really get nothing like anything like that. And I'm like, okay, is it the same Mars that's out there today? Can we actually go on there, or what are you implying there? You know, just that was kind of something I was like, okay, whatever. But other than that, the action I think is really good. Ice Cube and Jason Statham are in this film. I really like Jason Statham. I'm a big fan of him. So Jason Statham in this film, kind of like a redeeming factor, because I think if Ice Cube and Jason Statham wasn't in here, I think I probably wouldn't have liked it too much. But I really like their characters. And one of the head Martians, or the head aliens, kind of reminds me of Valak from Vampires. And I just thought he was an intimidating dude. He was like actually pretty bulky, like not huge, but he was intimidating. He had the long hair and he had like some face paint. I thought they could have utilized him more, made him more like a threat than he actually was, because I don't know. I just don't like how he met his demise there. But overall, I don't think it's a bad film. I think it's okay. It's my least favorite Carpenter flick. Um, yeah. So I pretty much covered everything. There's some I didn't get to talk about. Some Carpenter flicks I do enjoy, like The Fog and Christine. I just haven't seen those in a long time, and I want to talk about the ones that I have seen, like here recently. So I didn't want to say, oh, I love The Fog, and then go back and watch it and be like, you know. But I would definitely recommend most of them on this list, even Ghost of Mars. If you haven't seen it, check it out at least once. See what you think about it. That's pretty much it for this video. Definitely check out, Halloween, The Thing, They Live. I mean, there's so many good ones that I mentioned. Only one that I really wouldn't recommend highly would be Ghosts of Mars. But like I said, at least watch it once to see what you think about it. But yeah, guys, what are some of your favorite Carpenter flicks, and who is your favorite horror director, and what are some of your favorite flicks from that director? I'm going to leave our Facebook link and the website link down below. Definitely go check that out, guys, if you haven't. And thank you guys for watching. Peace.